easily take the hassle out of finding office space. Regis provides offices, technology, and support staff for companies large and small, so they get up and running fast. Customized solutions from short-term to long-term, all on your terms. And with Regis managing the details, you're free to do your best work. So when you're ready to take your business to the next level, Regis is there. Regis, the new way to work. Call 1-800-OFFICES now.
And now, back to KGAB Mornings with Gary Freeman on AM 650 KGAB.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to a Thursday on Cheyenne's #1 news talk radio station, AM 650 KGAB and KGAB.com on a beautiful Thursday, or Friday's Eve, as people like to call it now. And for those of you that want to know, the YouTube channel webcam is on. And I'd like to introduce our very next guest. He hails originally from Nova Scotia, up there near northern Maine, where my wife is from. He is a teacher at the University of Southern California, Riverside, and also has a book out, which is called Pandora's Picnic Basket. I'd like to welcome Dr. Alan McHughen. We're going to talk about some of these GMO-free restaurants that are coming about. Dr. McHughen, welcome to the program today.
Well, nice to be here, Gary.
Glad to have you. So you're the author of a book called Pandora's Picnic Basket. Tell us about it.
Well, I'm an academic scientist, and my work involves molecular genetics, looking at DNA and how DNA works. And I've been doing this for a number of years. And one of the things that my colleagues and I have always been concerned about is that there's a lot of fascination with DNA. It's a cultural icon these days, but there's a lot of misinformation about what it is and how it works, and particularly in agriculture and food production. We use DNA, or genetic engineering of DNA, to make things like human insulin that almost all diabetics use now, and there's very little controversy about that. But when we use the same technology to make crops resistant to disease or have some other attribute, then there's some controversy. So I wrote the book to try to explain exactly what DNA is and how it can be altered by plant breeders and also by other scientists. What are the opportunities, what are the risks, and let people then decide for themselves whether they wish to support the technology or not.
So as far as genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, of course, we know that Monsanto, companies like that, have come under fire. A lot of people are going more organic. It seems to me, Doc, that just enough people, or a lot of us, just don't know enough about it. And, in 30 years from now, we're going to be growing an elbow out of our forehead, or our kid's going to be deformed. What is some of the research? And by the way, I love your argument, or not your argument, but your research on, hey, we use this in insulin when we go to throw it into plants. Give us the balance in that. Tell us kind of where we are between the one side of the spectrum that says no GMO, it's of the devil, to the other side that says, well, you can still be a saint and partake of it. Where are we in the middle there?
Well, it is a very complex set of arguments. Some people have non-scientific arguments against it. They think it's unnatural, or they have political arguments against it, or socioeconomic. They don't like big companies being involved in food production, and those are fair. We have a democratic society, and people are entitled to their choices that way. On the scientific side, though, which is where I come at it, I look at what are the opportunities and what are the risks, what are the benefits, but what are we giving up potentially in adopting these technologies. But one thing is certain, that the technology itself is the same whether we use the tool of the technology of genetic engineering or recombinant DNA technology. It's the same set of risks whether we use it to make things that are clearly beneficial, like insulin, or things that might be a bit more questionable, like why do we need more corn or soybeans anyway? When the scientific community worldwide looks at the risks of this technology in agriculture and food production, we find invariably that there certainly are risks, but they're not new risks. They're the same risks that we've seen in past technologies in agriculture and food. And that is, and I can just outline it very quickly here, that if we use, for example, herbicide-resistant genetically engineered crops, we're using the same herbicide all the time, and that leads to the evolution of weeds with resistance to that herbicide, so we can no longer use that herbicide.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's basically the big risk. It's not a safety risk, it's not a health risk, but it is an agronomic and ecological risk.
We're talking with Dr. Alan McHughen. He is a professor at the University of Southern California, Riverside, also author of the book, Pandora's Picnic Basket. But you bring up another good point, Doc, and I might add, there are even some antibiotics that people are taking that now we're finding that the human body is even resisting some of the positive effects that could be in that as well.
Exactly. And this is a biological system, so we know that this is what drives the development of new population of whether they're germs or they're insects or they're weeds. When we induce a type of stress that doesn't kill every last one, then the ones that survive tend to be stronger, and they will resist a greater dose the next time. And they are the ones that are favored in the population. And that could be true for pathogenic germs in our bodies, in human bodies, in response to antibiotics. Or it could be the same with weed populations of weeds in our farmers' fields.
All right, we will take a quick break and then more to come from Dr. Alan McHughen. Very good subject this morning concerning GMOs and just how dangerous are they. Looking at some scientific facts, regardless of what you might have seen maybe on Facebook with a picture and a statement that's freaked everybody out. We'll have more from Dr. McHughen straight ahead at 9:17 with the sun out here in the capital city. My name is Gary Freeman. This is KGAB Mornings. Good morning.
1 in 9 babies will be born prematurely, needing the specialized care of a neonatal ICU. Toby's Shower for Babies knows that new parents appreciate any kindness during this stressful time. That's why they donate baskets to the Level 4 NICU in Denver, the closest destination for preemies in the region. The baskets contain blankets, books, a stuffed animal, onesies, and more. They brighten up the room, as well as mom and dad's spirits. You can help by donating to this caring organization. Visit showerforbabies.org or find them on Facebook.
Spas. Millions of dollars of factory direct 2015 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. Over 100 spas on display and everything must go. All inventory 40 to 80% off. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old spa. Spas starting at $29.95. Thousands on the Revolutionary Swim Spa. See the Revolutionary Swim Spa in action and save up to 60% exercise with low impact. Swim the entire year and stay in shape. Teach your kids to unwind and save thousands. Avoid the expense and maintenance involved with a pool. You can do it all. Swim, exercise, and relax in your new aquatic exercise swim spa. Installation in 1 day only. Millions of dollars of factory direct 2015 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. New 2015 inventory. All inventory must be sold. 12 months interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. Friday noon to 8. Saturday 10 to 8. Sunday 10 to 6. Free admission. Free parking. Call 877-55-HOT-TUB or visit spablowout.com. Spablowout.com.
Get the latest in breaking news at KGAB.com. It's the quickest way to get your news without being there yourself. News on demand at KGAB.com.
And good morning. Glad you could be with us this morning on a Thursday. 55, the current temperature here in the Magic City of the Plains. Of course, that's Cheyenne, Wyoming. And if you're just joining us this morning, the video cam is on. If you would like to go out to our YouTube channel at KGAB AM 650, you can check it out there. And if you're just joining us, good morning. We are having a very, very good discussion with Dr. Alan McHughen. He is also author of the book Pandora's Picnic Basket. And we're talking about GMOs and maybe some of the fact and fiction about these genetically modified organisms that we're finding more and more in our food today. Doctor, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Nice to be here. By the way, I'm at the University of California.
Oh, not Southern California, just
not
the
Southern
University of California.
That's down the road in L.A.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, I appreciate you straightening me out on that. University of California, Riverside. And Doc, with Chipotle, the restaurant, I know we have one here in Cheyenne, has come out saying, hey, we're going to go GMO free. And I realize that they can't probably completely do that, but are more and more restaurants trying to go GMO free in your research?
I think restaurants and other food service providers are looking at the possibility, but most of them aren't going forward with that. It started a couple of years ago with certain cereal brands. General Mills makes Cheerios, an iconic brand, and Post makes Grape Nuts. And they decided that they were going to remove the genetically engineered ingredients from their cereals. And there was a little bit of backlash from that because The price had to go up,
Mm-hmm.
and they found that they also removed some of their vitamins, and there was no change in the sales. So it really didn't attract the market that they were hoping to attract. So other companies, whether the restaurant chains or other food companies, are looking at that and thinking, is this really worthwhile or not? So I guess Chipotle made the decision that they were going to attempt to tap that market that wants to avoid GMOs, and I guess time will tell. The criticism, though, of Chipotle is that they're being a little bit disingenuous when they say they've eliminated GMOs from their menu, when they have several products that remain sourced with GMO ingredients.
Right, exactly. And that's why I was saying, how realistic is it in 2015 for a mass scale? Now, me as an individual, I can do all I can to try to cut that GMO out of my diet. But when you're trying to feed mass people, not only across this country, but around the world, could we make it without GMO? Could we totally go organic, or was just not enough?
No, we know. I mean, plenty of people are very interested in this question. Of course, how do we feed not only ourselves in rich countries like here, but also around the world where people are poor? Organic simply cannot produce enough food to feed. We already have over 7 billion people. The most optimistic estimates, and there's very little debate about this, is that going entirely organic could feed 3 or possibly 4 people on a very strict diet. And 3 or 4 billion people, that means half the population of the planet gets to starve. And I don't really want to participate in that activity. So we have to use modern technology to feed people. We have to get away from what some people call Mother Nature's blessed bounty. Mother Nature had no plan for 7 billion humans, recognizing that we're going to go up over 9 billion humans by 2050, which is not really all that far off. So we have to use modern technologies. Let's hope we use it in a sustainable and rational and fair way, but we can't ignore them.
Again, we're talking with Dr. Alan McHughen. He is a professor at the University of California, Riverside. And real quick, Doc, before we go, what are some? And I know you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier in the interview, but what are a few of the highlights of your book, Pandora's Picnic Basket, that we can take away today, and for those that might be interested in picking up your book?
Well, thanks very much. I appreciate that. The point I wanted to convey was educational, to explain just what can we do with genetic modification or genetic engineering, recognizing that all living things use DNA to carry their genetic information, and that's true whether they're bacteria or plants or animals, including humans. And the types of things that we can do now as scientists are really precise. Unlike previous generations that, we humans have been breeding plants and animals for 10,000 years in a very roughshod kind of way. And nowadays, it's just much more precise. We have a much better idea of what we're doing going in and can make changes and get a bacteria to produce insulin that it never used to be able to do, or we can get a plant to be able to grow with less water, which is something that's of increasingly vital importance almost everywhere in the world. So the technology itself is a tool. It's not an end product. We don't eat GMOs in any of our foods. We eat ingredients that may have come from a plant that was a GMO or a bacterium that was a GMO, but the GMO itself does not end up in the final food product.
Boy, I'll tell you, with this conversation, it's hard to cut you off. Can I just ask one more question?
Sure thing.
We've heard about tomatoes that had nutritional value from, say, 1910. And some people have said, well, it takes about 6 tomatoes nowadays to make up for the nutritional value of a tomato that was grown in 1910. My next question for you real quick, and then we'll let you go because I know you're a busy man. What about the compromise in the nutritional value of these GMO plants? What's the ratio maybe between an organic and a GMO?
There's no difference in nutritional value. It's a common misconception. Food production, even without genetic modification or biotechnology or organic, there's a lot of misconceptions about food production out there, and that it's really sad, and another reason why I wrote the book. But no, nutrition, we've maintained nutrition and have done for many, many years. There may be differences in taste or texture, but those are varietal differences. But categorically, there's no trade-off. And even if there were, current labeling laws in this country under FDA demand that if there's a change in the nutritional composition, that food product has to have a label indicating the change.
All right, Dr. Alan McHughen, thank you very much, sir, for carving out part of your Thursday morning to be with us. We really appreciate it. Author of the book, Pandora's Picnic Basket. Sir, if we want to pick up a copy of that book and or contact you, maybe some people have further questions, how can we do that?
The book is easy. I would recommend just going on Amazon and buy used. It's readily available. It's very inexpensive, a couple of dollars now, because it is getting older, and I'm thinking about bringing out a new version. But that won't, if that's so, it won't be for a couple of years. So I would recommend buying it used on Amazon. If you want to get in touch with me, you can Google my name, McHughen, and send me an email. I'm happy to talk to folks.
Dr. McHughen, thank you again, sir. Really, really appreciate you carving out part of your time to be with us today. It's very informative, very interesting discussion, and best to you, and hope you all get some more water out there in the motherland.
Thanks very much, Gary.
Right,
good talking with you.
Very good. My name is Gary Freeman. 9:27's the time. Good morning.
So when we place that grant in your hand, how do you want it? 10 Benjamin Franklins? 20 grants? 50 Andrew Jacksons?
PayPal should work.
However it gets broken down, you could win $1,000 twice a day, every weekday on KGAB. When we tell you to be the 25th nationwide caller to toll-free 877-854-WINS. That's 877-854-9467 to win cash, plus a bonus $10,000 at KGAB.com. From Cheyenne Auto and Metal, used auto parts and metal recycling.
The sunshine is here, and the Sweet Bistro is celebrating by opening up the patio for lunch and dinner. Come relax and enjoy at 1901 Central Avenue. Enjoy the new menu items and the friendly, fun service. The Sweet Bistro, open 11 to 11 for 12 hours of fun.
Imagine if you could spend the whole day doing whatever you love to support the fight against Alzheimer's disease. You could perfect your grandma's empanadas, throw a bowling tournament with friends, or do a DIY project with Dad. That's what the Alzheimer's Association's The Longest Day event is all about. On the summer solstice, June 21st, sunrise to sunset, put your passion to good work to honor those facing this disease. Start a team now. Visit alz.org/thelongestday.
All aboard for the 2015 edition of the Cheyenne Depot Days, May 16th and 17th.
The Cheyenne Depot Museum, along with the Sherman Hill Model Railroad Show, brings you the biggest and best train exposition of the year. Take the trolley and stop at any of the Depot Day exhibits. The Union Pacific Steam Shop Open House, the Rail Art Show, the exhibits, the vendors, and much more. Admission is just $10, and kids 12 and under are free. For Depot Days information, visit CheyenneDepotMuseum.org.
You're listening to KGAB Mornings with Gary Freeman on AM 650 KGAB.
All right, 9:29 is the time. We're going to open up the phone lines here at 632-6500 when we come return after the bottom of the hour news with Fox News. Also, we'll hear from Doug Randall and John Gabriel soon with your WyoPret Sports. If you are absolutely bored and you want to do something exciting, the new prefab restroom unit at the David R. Romero South Cheyenne Community Park is being lifted by a crane. And well, actually, that happened yesterday, so forget that. That's one attraction here in the capital city you'll not be able to partake in. Open line time when we return at 632-6500. Again, the video cam is on. Go out to our YouTube channel. You probably have to set up a Google account. We've already got a viewer or two out there, and you can watch the show live and see what I do in the studio when you're not looking. My name is Gary Freeman. This is KGAB Mornings. Again, love to hear from you. 632-6500. All this and more straight ahead. Good morning.
AM 650 KGAB. Up to the minute news.
From the KGAB News Center, I'm Doug Randall. Everybody loves taking a vacation, but nobody wants to come home to a house that's been broken into. Kyle Gross, a crime prevention officer with the Laramie Police Department, says there are some simple things people can do to lower the risk of being burglarized while they're away.
Some of the most important things to do first is just make sure doors and window locks are all properly working and that everything's secured and able to be secured, as well as making sure that all the lighting around the house is still working, because that's, those two things are one of the main preventative measures people can take for protecting their things.
He adds people should take steps to make sure their home doesn't have signs that it is temporarily unoccupied.
If they're not going to cancel either the mail and put it on hold or put the newspaper, if they still get that on hold, they need to make sure that they have somebody go to their house to pick that up, because when it's left out for days on end, your burglars are going to see that and make that house a target.
One man was hospitalized after a fire and explosion in a rural Riverton home. Riverton Volunteer Fire Department Chief Scott Walters says the fire started Sunday afternoon in a gunroom at Doc and Deanna Holloway's home. Doc Holloway operates the cannons used to celebrate touchdowns at local high school football games. Walter says there was ammunition going off in the house during the fire. The rescued man has not yet been identified. State Fire Investigator Eric Sewick says the explosion blew out a wall and sent debris about 75 yards away. More news on demand at KGAB.com.
On a Thursday, I'm John Gabrielson with your YO Preps radio report. The landscape of 4A athletics is going to change in the next couple of years. The Gillette School Board voted 5-2 Tuesday night to build a second high school. Currently, Gillette has one high school but two campuses. The vote was much anticipated not only in Campbell County but across the state. In newspaper polls, residents were in favor of the split while students were against it. Many felt the addition of a second school will divide the community and lose the feel of Gillette as one. Camel Athletic Director Cliff Hill fears the same.
I grew up in Casper. My dad was a head football coach at Natrona. I had two sisters that went to Keller Walshmore Church, and I saw the division of a community. I'm not really looking forward. I'm hoping that this community handles it better than other communities have, but it's going to have a major effect in our community.
While this decision has been made, now the process of a whole bunch of others come into play.
And who's going to teach where, and who's going to coach, and what the mascots, and what the colors are, and what the high school names are, and all those things will be decided as we go through this, preparing for two high schools. But right now, we got the direction to start heading, so now it's a matter of starting to tackle those type of issues.
The hope is for the new high school in Gillette to be open and ready by the fall of 2017. I'll be back with more in a moment.
Motorcyclists are out on the road every day in Wyoming, in town and on the highway. And we're not just other vehicles. We're people. We're your neighbors, your friends, your family. We're members, even leaders of the community. The person under the helmet could be a mother, a brother, a doctor, or a friend. Some of us may look tough on the outside, but when we ride, we're vulnerable. So keep an eye out for us. Give us space, and always share the road with motorcycles.
Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Being able to see your favorite dentist is important. And with dental insurance from Delta Dental, you can be reassured that most likely your dentist is one of the 87% of Wyoming dentists participating in our network. Visit our website at www.deltadentalwy.org. That's www.deltadentalwy.org for more information on Delta Dental. And remember to show off your smile, Wyoming.
Wyoming High School Sports News, delivered right to your inbox at wyopreps.com.
Regional track and field begins tomorrow around the state. Sheridan will host 3 classes. Lander will host 2. Other meets are scattered at Evanston, Star Valley, and Wheatland. Soccer teams head into the final weekend of their regular season. Automatic bids for state are on the line in many of those contests. Baseball has another weekend of early season action. Rodeo athletes are in Casper. Check the website for schedules going in, then results as we get them. Take along your camera, snap a few pics, and send it to us for the fan photo gallery. This has been your YO Preps Daily Radio Update. Hit a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and for more things high school sports in Wyoming, it's at yopreps.com.
After another cloudy, cool, dreary, wet day yesterday, we will get the sun back, but unfortunately, it's only a brief return to the sun. Temperatures are going to cool off again for Friday and the weekend, and chances of rain will roll right back in along with those cooler temperatures. But today will be near 70, sunny to partly sunny and pleasant, with just a couple of showers and thunderstorms late towards afternoon and evening. And a real good chance of getting wet We'll roll in Friday with cloudy skies and cooler temperatures with yet another storm system moving through the Rockies Friday through Sunday.
Acquiring a taste for it is easy.
Asking someone else to buy it is easy. Sneaking a bottle from your liquor cabinet is easy.
Getting a fake ID? Easy.
So is finding an unsupervised party. So is making sure that, as my parents, you never know.
For all the things that are easy about underage drinking, talking to your children about it may not seem like one of them. But it's not as hard as you may think. I'm Carol Meade, Wyoming's First Lady. Children who feel close to their parents are far less likely to drink underage. And the sooner you start the conversation, the better they'll be at knowing what to do when someone offers them alcohol. To learn valuable tips on how to talk to your children about underage drinking, visit talkearlyandoften.org.
Easy.
Easy. That's easy.
A message from the Wyoming Department of Health and Prevention Management Organization.
The sun will make a brief return to Cheyenne today before going away for Friday. Partly cloudy today, temperatures near 70. There will be a couple of thunderstorms and showers in the area late this afternoon and evening. Lows tonight in the middle 40s. Cooler Friday, cloudy. A good chance Friday for afternoon showers and thunderstorms lingering into Friday night. Near 60 Saturday, 50 Sunday. The weekend will bring breezy conditions and a few more showers. I'm meteorologist Don Day with more weather on demand at KGAB.com.
When everyone in the house is trying to download music, stream movies, or stay connected on social media all at once on different devices, it can be a drag, literally. Your internet connection could slow down to a crawl. But not Charter Spectrum Internet. With speeds starting at 60 megabits per second, get the bandwidth you need to do it all. And all for only $29.99 a month when bundled. Just call 844-855-2999. The next time you have to wait for a download, the next time your streaming movie isn't exactly streaming. Remember, Charter Spectrum Internet gives you the bandwidth you need. Download, stream, game, share, and more, all at once on all of your devices. Only $29.99 a month when bundled. Call now, 844-855-2999. 844-855-2999. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Spas. Millions of dollars of factory direct 2015 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. Over 100 spas on display and everything must go. All inventory 40 to 80% off. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old spa. Spas starting at $29.95.
Thousands at a revolutionary swim spa.
See the revolutionary swim spa in action and save up to 60%. Exercise with low impact. Swim the entire year and stay in shape. Teach your kids to swim. Unwind and save thousands. Avoid the expense and maintenance involved with a pool. You can do it all. Swim, exercise, and relax in your new aquatic exercise swim spa. Installation in one day only. Millions of dollars of factory direct 2015 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. New 2015 inventory. All inventory must be sold. 12 months interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. Friday noon to 8. Saturday 10 to 8. Sunday 10 to 6. Free admission. Free parking. Call 877-55-HOT-TUB or visit SpaBlowout.com. SpaBlowout.com.
Start your day with Gary Freeman and KGAB Mornings on AM 650 KGAB.
All right, 9:40 is the time here on Cheyenne's #1 news talk radio station. My name is Gary Freeman. Glad to have you aboard on a Thursday, a really nice-looking day today, by the way, and glad to have you with us. The phone number, if you want to be on the program this morning, is 632-6500, 632-3323, and the video cam is on. What in the world is a video cam? This is something new that we're doing here at KGAB Mornings, to where at certain times we'll turn it on. Still trying to figure out some cool ways on, because during the commercial breaks, you can't hear them. So you might see us in here operating. But once the commercial break is over, we're back on the air and back in the action. And so we're glad to have you with us. Now, you may have to open up a Google account, which is not hard in order to do it. So If you don't know how to do it yourself, maybe have you, your grandkids, husband, wife, whatever, show you how to do that. And then when we turn the video cam on, you can check it out. Now, I would advise you turn your radio off because the radio is not going to be in sync with what you're seeing on your computer or on your handheld device. And so some people yesterday were saying, man, you're totally out of sync. Well, I'm going to be out of sync if you're trying to listen to your radio and watch the cam at the same time. All right, again, 632-6500, 632-3323 is the phone number. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. It's your turn.
Well, good morning. I think you did a real great service to us citizens about the modified foods, genetically modified foods this morning.
Yes, sir.
I think it was great to have an authority that seemed to know what he was talking about, and it certainly was a thing that is convincing to hear a man like that who has studied in depth the genetically modified foods. Now, in a word, are genetically modified foods safe or not?
In a word, according to him, yes.
That's what I thought. And I think if we would apply the same techniques and critical analysis to many of the problems we have today, we come up with a solution instead of meandering around in the dark as too much of this investigation does. All right, thank you. And
all right,
again, thanks for the program.
Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Lindsay. I appreciate that. And yeah, and it's with a lot of things, I think. Now, again, I am not advocating for or against GMOs. That's something you got to do on your own. But as Mr. Lindsay pointed out, we did have someone who has actually done the research on it. He's a private professor in a university. You could say, well, he's being paid, and yeah, you can go that direction. But one of the interesting things I thought that he brought out was the fact that a lot of you that take insulin and some of that drug or whatever it is that's tied in with the DNA is some of the same technology that they're using for the GMOs. Now, he is saying that according to his research, the tomatoes of 1910, which we've heard this before, and there's even seeds out there now that are saying it'll give you the same value. Some people are saying it takes 6 tomatoes today to match the nutritional value. He's saying that's untrue. And one of the things that I liked about having him on the program was the fact that you're getting the other side of it. I mean, how many times have you been out to Facebook and you've looked out there and, it's easy to post a picture and put some wording on it and say, this is the way it is. And I know I did a top 5 at 745 here recently. That was, if you want to call it, demonizing GMOs. I was giving another side of the story, and for the proper balance, we had this doctor on so that he could give his side. And by the way, if you want to check out his book, I guess you can. I thought it was kind of comical to me, is he said, I would advise you to get my book on Amazon. You can get it under the used section for a couple of bucks. I'm thinking he's talking to Mr. Jack Benny himself right here. I have purchased and do purchase books on Amazon, and I usually try to go for the used or lightly used, $2 or $3 bargain. But at any rate, the name of the book is called Pandora's Picnic Basket, and it is by Dr. Alan McHughen, and that's MC, and then capital HUGHEN, Dr. Alan McHughen, and you can pick that up at your Amazon.com, if that's what you want to do. Phone number, 632-6500, 632-3323. And again, if you're looking to do something fun over this summer, you can certainly do that by heading out to the Little Theater tonight. They are taking Oleo Act auditions. And according to the directors and the assistant directors, they're trying to keep it quite a bit more to what we would consider vaudeville acts. Juggling, singing, ventriloquism, kind of comedy bits back and forth, Burns and Allen type stuff. A lot of those old time guys got their start in vaudeville. And then when radio came out, they actually started doing radio. And when you got a guy, I think he died in 1996 at like 101 or 102 years old, George Burns. I didn't think the guy was ever going to die. And he used to play God before Morgan Freeman did, as some of you remember. But at any rate, some other things coming out of Laramie I'd like to get your opinion on. The Laramie Council has approved anti-discrimination edict, and it was 7-2. And evidently there's been problems over there with discriminating against the LBGT community, which is the lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender community. And the governing body out there in Laramie, maybe some of you were at that meeting last night, would like to call us at 632-6500, 632-3323. But there was a lot of students, teachers, business owners, residents erupted into cheers. This was a major victory after a non-discrimination ordinance was passed by the Laramie City Council last night. Laramie Ordinance 1915, a non-discrimination measure, will, quote, prohibit discrimination of any person based upon his or her actual or perceived sexual orientation. Which means if I think that I am a woman and I want to cross-dress, you cannot discriminate against hiring me. I know a business here in town that is using temporary service, and they have a transgender that's popped into the building and is a man that is dressed up and acts like a woman. For a lot of people, that makes people feel very uncomfortable. But again, in this day of anti-discrimination, and we had this bill, I believe it was SF 115, that came up over the last session that we had, and the last general session that we had here in the Wyoming State Legislature, and it went down in the House under first reading. It was killed. And the reason why it is because there's a lot of religious groups and churches that say, look, sometimes we need to hire a secretary. And we're a faith-based organization, and we have a right to religion according to the dictates of our conscience. And I get that as far as a church setting. But when the church is putting out a proclamation or putting out a help wanted ad and saying, we want to hire a secretary, should that include these folks? In other words, should a church organization be able to discriminate if they are going to become an employer and hire a secretary, a maintenance man off the street? Should they be able to discriminate? Does that fall in the same category as religious freedom? Let's take a phone call. Good morning. It's your turn.
Yeah, good morning. Religious freedom, our Constitution says that we are free to practice our religion. And Wyoming has a strange thing. We have an at-will employment. We're not union. We're not forced to hire. Now, if the law says, they pass a law that says that you have to hire them. Well, the first time they make the mistake, you fire them. You know, it's that simple. If otherwise, you're going to have to go to court and sue. And I believe if you get into the federal court system, you're going to win.
Well, and I agree with you on that, because there's a lot of HR companies that is why they keep a file for you, because if they do terminate your employment somewhere, and they would be wise to, as you've brought out, basically, that if it does go to a court of law, they've got a record where you violated company policy or you were written up, as they like to call it. They've got some kind of proof other than just saying, well, we have no record of any wrongdoing. We just fired them because of XYZ with no documentation. And if they happen to be an LBGT, this could not go over very well for that company in the court.
Yeah, well, you did that there. But if you go and start saying, okay, my religion forbids this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a violation of my religion. I am practicing my religion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want it around me.
Mm-hmm.
On religious grounds. I believe you're going to win.
But will you win in Laramie?
No.
See?
No, yeah, I said to begin with, you're going to have to go to the federal court system.
No. I got you. I'm just saying, we're just having a discussion here this morning, and I think you're bringing up some very, very good points. But my question is, well, actually, let me say this. I remedied this earlier this morning, and let me get your opinion on it. Is saying basically, if you don't want to put help wanted out in the paper and out into the community, then maybe you ought to look to hire someone within. Let's say that you're retired and I need a maintenance man part-time. And I say, Bill, do you mind doing some maintenance around here? We'll give you 20 hours a week or whatever. Can you handle that? Sure. I'd love to do that. And so I hire you from within. But I think if you put that in the help wanted ad, you're going to be somewhat subjected to whatever comes through the door.
Right. That is 100% correct. But like I said, if they want to push it now, if you want to go to court and fight like Hobby Lobby did, go fight it that way. The Catholic organizations, they've still got to get their day in court.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get into the higher courts, you're going to find out that it's not freedom from religion, it's freedom of religion.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And people want to go do that. Like I said, personally, if I were hiring someone, they wanted to come up to me, sure, I'll hire you. You're going to say, well, you're going to sue me if I don't? Okay, no problem at all. I'll hire you. The first time you make a mistake, I'm going to bring you in. And I don't care if it's a simple thing like you dropped a rock in the wrong place.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you in and counsel you.
There you go.
The second time, I'm going to document it. The second time you make a mistake, I'm going to terminate you for cause. Now, this not only means that you're gone from mine, but it means you're going to have one heck of a time finding another job.
Yeah, it could be because you got fired.
Yeah,
but then also you got to be careful that if you fire them, then you may be responsible for the unemployment payment too.
Not for cause. That's why I use the word for cause.
I gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry, misunderstood that.
You get fired for cause, you're fired.
That's right.
And that's the darn thing. I wouldn't want to work for somebody that I knew I had to be absolutely perfect.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't want to work for somebody who didn't want me to work for them.
Exactly.
And I don't want to be around anybody who doesn't want me around. I don't understand these people at all.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate the phone call. And again, that's why I'm kind of like live and let live. If I go to a company here in town and I want a T-shirt made, and whether it's I love Jesus or I'm proud to be gay, either side of the spectrum, and they don't want my business, I'm not going to haul them into court. I'm going to go to somebody that wants my business, and may even come to being online. I don't know. But that's where the whole live and let live comes in. But I think some of these folks have given themselves a bad name, and there's religious people that have given themselves a bad name. Like, for instance, these kids that decided to have a straight day at their high school. Okay, no big deal. But when you start taking yellow sticky pads and putting John 3:16 and this hate speech on these gay kids' wall locker and all this other stuff, then it becomes an issue. Wisdom built the house, the lack of it tore it down on both sides of the aisle. And I don't care if you're religious and a Christian, if you're going to get militant about it. I don't think that is right, just as much as I think that it's wrong for the LGBT community to come out and start getting militant and forcing their way on somebody else. Again, it should be a live and let live, but then you get into legalities of it, and they say, well, if you were gay and then you couldn't get a cake made or you couldn't do this, again, there is somebody that is going to do it for us, and to be able to force this down, I think, is leaving a bad taste in our mouth. It's just like ISIS. They're supposedly a religious type organization in the realm of they have an ideology that we disagree with. Okay. But instead of living and let living, they are going out and they are forcing this down. And the bad thing with that is, as far as some of these radical Muslims, unfortunately, we have people in our own government that are afraid to call things for what they are. And so there's a way that people are getting away with things, other people aren't. I just don't think there's that proper balance. But in Laramie County, they passed this anti-discrimination edict. And again, it goes back to, I believe it was SF 115 over this general session that went down in the House. And here's another thing to think about. We got to go to a break here. If one city government does it and it passes, don't think for a moment that it's not going to come to the Cheyenne City Council. I would say that it probably will be. All right, more of your phone calls straight ahead at 632-6500, 632-3323. You're listening to KGAB Mornings. My name is Gary Freeman. Good morning.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than four walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer evening. It's everybody over for Sunday dinner and your family sleeping in their own beds at night. Making Home Affordable is a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
It's the big event at B&B Appliance and TV. Their 47th anniversary sale going on right now. May is also Maytag month with washer-dryer pairs on sale, plus up to $350 in rebates. Maytag also has rebates up to $1,000 on kitchen appliance packages. Maytag quality means each appliance they build has a 10-year major component warranty. Celebrate their 47th anniversary at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue.
Are you suffering with hearing loss? Are you sick of people constantly complaining that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to speak up? Would you like to hear more clearly, but you don't want to wear a hearing aid that makes you look old? Then you need to try Listen Clear, a life-changing breakthrough precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything. Are you suffering with hearing loss?
Are you feeling run down? Do you have aches, pains, or illnesses that just keep hanging around? Chronic medical conditions require an internal medicine healthcare provider. A team of experts can help you to manage a number of conditions, including asthma, heart disease, respiratory illness, back pain, and many more. Call today to see what Cheyenne Regional Internal Medicine can do for you. 307-996-1560. 307-996-1560.
What if an insurance company was also a driver safety company? A rescue you even in the dead of night company? Actually, one insurance company is that. AAA. For 100 years, we've been keeping drivers safe and protected, which, after all, is the whole point of insurance. So talk to your local AAA agent or visit AAA.com/trust and learn what auto insurance is like the AAA way.
Are you suffering with hearing loss? Are you sick of people constantly complaining that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to speak up? Would you like to hear more clearly, but you don't want to wear a hearing aid that makes you look old? Then you need to try Listen Clear, a life-changing breakthrough precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And right now, you can try Listen Clear absolutely risk-free with free shipping. We'll even give you free batteries for life. So call now, 1-800-509-0433. Listen Clear is lightweight and completely hassle-free, and it's practically invisible. Call for your 100% risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-509-0433. That's 1-800-509-0433. 1-800-509-0433.
KGAB and KGAB.com.
So long. See you tomorrow.